Hi everybody, I hope you're doing great. I am doing this video for the second time because the landscapers came in and it happens every time. I never know really what time they're going to be here, but that's what happens. Anyway, I'm happy to talk about this again. Today I actually want to talk to you about spirit guides. I get a lot of questions about spirit guides and how to connect to them, but first we're going to talk about who they are. And I want to present that in the realms of spiritualism. And I don't think anything has changed in the last 45 years. So I'm going to teach it the way I was taught and the way that I practice it. So we have 7 major spirit guides. All of us have spirit guides, by the way. Nobody walks alone. And I'm going to talk about these archetypes because we don't share the same guides, and not all the guides are there 24/7. The ones you might be closer to are the ones that step up in times that you need them. So the first thing I want to talk to you about as far as the archetypes is the gatekeeper. One of the most common guides that we have, or the most well known to people, and those are protectors. Now they protect you kind of like the guardian angels, but guardian angels are usually about your physical safety. And they help prevent you from, going home when it's not your time. And those divine interventions we will talk about in another video, but sticking to the spirit guide. Gatekeepers also protect you, but they protect you from negativity. And I know you might say, well, my boss gave me a rash of crap like last week, so where were they then? Well, if there is a karma between you and your boss or some lesson that you need to learn, they're not going to interfere with that. But if you wanted to start a new venture, they might remove obstacles for you. They might help you from being too negative as well as others from being too negative, or just this general protection of your mind and your spirit and your mental health. So the gatekeeper essentially wraps you up in bubble paper, and that is just cushioning you a bit. And you might see it as white light. That's also a form of protection. And at some point, maybe I'll make a video on each and every one, but I just want to go through the 7 major archetypes. The next one I want to talk to you about is the messenger. Now, the messenger has other names as well, perhaps the runner, but we develop very close relationships and trusting bonds with our messenger. And as they are also known as the runner, they take your messages back and forth to the other side. So they carry prayers, they do carry requests, and they come back with answers. They help us with signs, maybe not from loved ones, but maybe from loved ones. In my learnings, if that's a word, I believe that they can do that, but they're mostly focused on your requests of the universe. And again, at another time we will talk a little bit more about that. So I also want to talk about the Joy Guide. I like that spirit guide. They really help us in times of trouble. And they usually present themselves as a child. Very innocent like. They might hide your car keys, and make you look all over the place. And then they show up just the first place you looked and you swear it wasn't there. They're trying to put levity in a situation where you're taking life too seriously. So they can be jokesters, but they want to make you smile. They want you to be happy. So I guess the innocence of a child makes sense as to why they would present that way. So they could be frustrating, but the intention is good. And in the end, they usually get their way. And we find our joy. Now let's talk about the Doctor of Philosophy. This is a very, very important guide. If you want to get through this life, this one allows you to navigate through the life lessons, through a lot of the crap. So, for instance, the Doctor of Philosophy might help you change your perspective about things. Perhaps you need to put your feet in someone else's shoes to understand their situation. And they may not actually put you in the same position, but they're going to help you with your empathy, with your sympathy, with understanding and compassion. So they really kind of hold a mirror up to you, and it allows you to grow as a result. So they're crucial. Perhaps you can live without the Joy Guide, but I don't know that you can do that without the Doctor of Philosophy. They usually play one of the most major roles in your life, and we definitely have very strong bonds with them. They help you also with your spiritual growth, not just your personal growth. And, we're here to grow in, all departments. So they play a big role. The Doctor of Health. Yeah, that's important because we don't always pay attention to our health, do we? The Doctor of Health kind of yaps in your ear. You probably shouldn't eat that, You should take better care of yourself. You should get exercise. I don't know that they're really nags, but they're definitely there to inspire us. And it just so happens, if you're a healthcare worker, you probably have an extra strong relationship with your Doctor of Health. They tend to work very closely with healthcare workers, especially if they're dedicated ones who really, really want to help people. And, not everybody goes into a career for the same reason somebody else does. But if you're a dedicated person in helping others on any level, mind, body, and spirit, they're going to work with you, perhaps motivate you to try harder to get through to someone. But we all do have them for our personal life as well. We just need to listen to them. And if you are sick, by the way, it's not just preventative, they will help you heal as well. Now for the transient guide. A transient guide may not be with you your entire life. The transient guide is here to get you from one place to another. Perhaps a new chapter of your life. And turning a page can be very challenging. Change is not an easy thing for humans to deal with. Most humans. And, sometimes we feel we're very alone. But a transient guide can remove obstacles that keep you from turning that page, whether it's through inspiration or through coincidence, and actually getting obstacles that are keeping you from your goals taken away. Now, we may ask them to take the obstacle away. If it's your karma to go through something, they will not interfere. So in any of these situations, any guides, you might say, well, they're not really helping me with this. It's because you're not supposed to be helped with that particular situation. But they still inspire you to move forward when you need extra troops through grief and through difficult challenges. And finally, save the best for last. The master teacher. The master teacher may work very close to the Doctor of Philosophy, because they do also move you through your life process. But they're kind of the keeper of the karma. And I equate the master teacher to Metatron, if you're into the archangel archetypes as well. Keeper of the karma, keeps the brownie point scoreboard, but also tries to inspire you. Now, sometimes the master teacher is a little scary and intimidating, as if it's a father figure that we're trying to please. I don't think we get scolded, but they seem to be like all business. And sometimes I get through a situation, oh, I don't think my master teacher is going to be happy with me here. But nevertheless, they are there for our own good. And I kind of see them as the boss of all the other spirit guides. That is just the feeling I get, because that's how strong they are. So they will help us elevate to the next level. And I'll give you a quick example. If we're doing something that's not good for us and we do it over and over and over again, we're not learning anything. Once we break a bad habit or a bad pattern that hasn't been serving us, then you will advance and you will not be presented with that situation again unless it's a true test to make sure that you would not make the same choice again. I hope that makes sense. Now, altogether, I like to call these guides your counsel. You might work with one exclusively for a while and then you need something else, but they're all there. They're all there in the wings, and are all there when you need them. But like prayers, sometimes the answer is no. And there's reasons for it. And sometimes we will not know those reasons until we get back home. Like perhaps back into that review room where it all got mapped out to begin with. And I get a lot of questions about how to connect to them. And I'm not going to cover that whole thing today. We will say that for another time. But I will say meditation is a big help. And I know meditation is not easy. It's not even easy to talk about sometimes. It can be frustrating, but I don't think a lot of people realize that there are many forms of meditation, not just this, it doesn't really work that way for the most part. It's just one technique. So I will talk about another video on meditation and other ways to connect to your guides. But for now, just wanted to let you know you're not alone. You never were, and you never will be. If you have any questions, though, relating to any of these particular guides on what they do and what they might be doing for you at the moment, please comment below. Your comments, your likes, they help this channel grow. And I know this is like a baby of a channel. And even if I'm only speaking to 4 of you, I'm happy to do that. But it would really be nice if we could grow this channel and this community. And perhaps I'll do a live at some point. Maybe I'll do readings. But we've got to come together as a community and grow. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day. Bye.